You're kind of like the story that everybody wants to be when they're reaching out into the Vayner ecosystem of getting that shot and then just really making the most of it. So could you tell them maybe the abbreviated story of the tweet heard around the world? We'll work for free.
So I first learned of Gary before he was really operating VaynerMedia. He was a wine guy. He was doing Wine Library TV. So went to college at Virginia Tech. At Virginia Tech, there's a wine course called World Regions of Wine. And part of the curriculum, I actually had to go home, log into Virginia Tech's Blackboard system where you take online quizzes and track your course performance. I took quizzes of Gary's Wine Library TV videos. So that's how I first followed him. And, at the time, I wasn't that big of a wine drinker and am not a Jets fan. So nothing really spoke to me about Gary, like, oh, I really like this guy, I'm going to follow him. But I ended up following him after I graduated college. I taught English abroad in Thailand, actually, and then I coached basketball in China. And I started meeting more digital nomads, digital entrepreneurs, people making money online. So I came home motivated, inspired on what it might be to create my own business. Quickly learned that I had a lot to learn and I didn't know what I didn't know. And so I got some inspiration of like, hey, who's someone that I might want to work for that I could really learn from, that I could trust, build a rapport with, and then I can go build my $1 billion business. And I came across Gary's content. Honestly, I'll say it's my favorite Gary video ever. It's called A Rant from the Hip, Head, and Heart. I watched that video and he basically just goes on to talk about like his ambitions and his drive. He's very authentic. I'm always curious when I meet and interact with the VeeFriends community, but also just like in general, people who may know of Gary. But one thing that generally a lot of people will say is that he's so authentic and that they're attracted by his authenticity. And within that resonated with me when I watched that video because I could tell that he was a real entrepreneur based on the success that he was doing with VaynerMedia. And he had a bright future being ahead of the curve. So I had watched that video and a couple of days later, he tweeted in the morning, what can I do for you? And someone had responded back like, hey, Gary, I'm hungry. And then 15 minutes later, I just looked back at that thread because I was just curious to see what the engagement was looking like. And the guy had responded like, holy shit. He took a photo of a cheeseburger sitting outside his apartment doorstep. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to take a shot. And I responded to that tweet, a chance to work for free. And then 3 months later, he actually got my email and asked if I would be interested in joining his team as a book intern. I immediately responded. I'm like, yes, I live in New York City. My brother was there. That's sort of how I got my foot into the door at Vayner. It was maybe 100 people at the time. Vayner now is over 1,000 people, global agency in Singapore, LA, Mexico City. So there's been a lot of growth. Facebook ads haven't existed yet. So I've really been at the center of Web 2 and the birth and growth of it. And now I've had the fortune to try and see what the future of the internet holds with Web 3.